Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video, and welcome to this wonderful little spot we have found ourselves in. Now look, last week's video we were wandering around Lisbon taking some photographs. It was great fun. But listen, oh, it's just silent. Oh my God. You know, Lisbon's a great town. I love it. And you know, the places that we've been visiting the last while have been wonderful. But wow, there is just nothing that can compare to how absolutely gorgeous it is in the countryside of whatever country you live in. It's just wonderful. Let me flip you around here, folks, because look at this view I have here. Oh yeah, look at that. Just endless green. And you know, it's actually so green now here. It's just April. March, April, yes, just April, and it is absolutely gorgeous. We came over one hill earlier when it all started to turn green, and I was like, did we drive home by accident? There's our little van here, Polly. But the aim of today's video is some astro. Yay, here we are photographing the sky again. Look at this here now. So this is going to be the main subject of our images this evening. This once was a dolmen. And then had since by, I don't know, well, I'm going to look it up, maybe I can put some info up on the screen for you. But since then had been kind of, you know, I don't know how they did it, but it was a dolmen and then they built a chapel over it some years ago. And you can see, let me take you over here actually. It's like a little tourist video we're doing here now. So you can actually see, look at this big lad here. That was like a big dolmen rock. And there's a little front door. It's locked, unfortunately. I would take you in otherwise. But the aim of the game is to try and photograph the stars and the night sky above this wonderful chapel slash dolmen. And we are going to try and take 2 photographs. This time of year, the Milky Way core is just starting to rise, which is wonderful. We all love the Milky Way core. But it rises above, at least where I am now, very, very late in the early morning. So at around maybe, you know, 5:30, 5 o'clock or so. So we're going to ultimately try and take 2 photographs. If you can see this composition here, I'm going to try and take this one tonight, which I'm hoping we might be able to get the tail end of the Milky Way coming up this way. And then if I run you over here to this side, when I get up at 5 o'clock, we should then hopefully be able to get the actual Milky Way core coming up from behind the dolmen. So that is the aim of the game today. I really hope it works, but it's just so gorgeous over here. Let me turn you around over here, folks. It's just so beautiful. If I can, I might grab the camera and see if I can take a couple of pictures just of these trees as the sun sets. These are all cork trees. And it's just so gorgeous. Beside this, look, yay, the little van, God love her. She has been through the mill. Does anybody know anything about cars? Can you please send me an email? I have questions. But anyways, we are here having fun, gonna relax, have some tea, make some dinner, wait for the sun to set, potentially take a picture over here or two, and just enjoy the quiet and the peace. Oh, so nice to be back out into the countryside. Anyways, this is a long ramble. What are we, almost 4 minutes of a ramble, folks. If you made it this far, cheers. I really appreciate it. So I'm gonna stop rambling, get some gear set up, take 1 or 2 pictures, and if any of those pictures over there by the tree turn out to be any good, I'm gonna pop them up on the screen for you right now. Welcome friends to the ASMR Photography Studio, and welcome to the first selection of images we find ourselves photographing on this absolutely wonderful evening next to this gorgeous dolmen-shaped chapel. I really love to photograph scenes like this. They add such a deeper connection to the overall area and tell such a wonderful story about the particular locations you can find yourself in. And of course the beautiful flowers and light that we managed to capture as it beamed its way through the trees was an added bonus and made this whole area absolutely sing. I am absolutely delighted with how all of these images turned out, and like I said, they add just such a deeper story and connection to the whole area. and I am thrilled to have photographed them. So, you know, it dawned on me while I was walking around taking the pictures that you would have just seen that when you do manage to get out into the countryside to take photographs, particularly when you got yourself a nice little setup, you know, if where you're shooting out of your car or whether you're shooting out of a little van like ours or whatever, it's so nice just to be able to leave your stuff within walking distance and be like, yeah, okay, I'll go back and get another lens. It's all good without having to have the bag on you and take it off each time. It's just such a comfortable experience. And for me anyway, it really allows me to be so much more like creative when it comes to the images that I photograph, as you would have just seen. That was the kind of like culmination of me bouncing back and forth to the bag. And I love that about having this little van here set up for ourselves, and it's just such a wonderful thing to do. So if you can leave your gear super close and, you know, shoot at a place like this, you can just keep walking back and forth and make it nice and easy. Now, a little fly in the ointment. There is some clouds moving in. I wonder if I can point you up at the sky. Oh yeah, okay, so there are some clouds moving in. So I was checking the forecast, and they are set to come in a little bit, but then hopefully clear off by about 11, which is pretty much the time that I was going to be shooting this first image for this evening. Well, at least, you know, the main images for this video. But what I'm going to do is I might as well set up a nice time lapse of the clouds moving in and the sun setting, and just because it's so gorgeous, I wish I could record audio for a time lapse. Can you hear it all? I also just realized that the audio that you all just heard right there now, I didn't have the microphone turned on. So yay, here's hoping it actually captured the audio in the little doodah itself. But let me see if we can hear some of this wonderful piece, and I'll turn you around and do a little pan. It's pure magic, folks. Pure magic. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling, set up a little time lapse, and go cook some dinner. I really do need to cook dinner because it's pushing on. So anyways, let's get to it, and we'll see you when the sun sets. So, I have my phone up here illuminating my baldy head for you here in the night sky. Now, there's cloud. There's like lots of cloud in the sky, so I don't know whether this is going to work out. I'm going to show you the back of the camera here, and hopefully you can see, you can kind of see the kind of frames that I've been kind of playing around with. Yeah, so I don't know. The cloud is scheduled to clear up probably at around 10:30. So we've got a bit of time to burn. So I might as well just keep kind of honing in the composition and playing around with photo pills to see if I can, find the right kind of composition that we're after. But yeah, so we'll see. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then no worries. But I'll get back to you regardless, one way or the other. So yeah, but nonetheless, it's a beautiful, beautiful evening, and there is not a breath of wind. Can you hear these frogs, man? They are like frogging, and cowbells off in the distance as well. It's just so, so beautiful, so peaceful. Wow, it's gorgeous. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling for the bit, going to let a bit of time pass, and we shall see if we can get up to some mischief. So this is about as good as it got, I am afraid to say. The clouds, unfortunately, were just moving very, very fast and really did roll in too heavy to capture anything substantial at all. Now, as you can tell, I did light paint this from the left side of the frame just to add a bit of extra kind of dynamism to the scene and light up the dolmen just so you could see it a bit better. And overall, I'm actually still quite happy with how this kind of like test shot turned out. It still tries to tell the story of what I was looking to achieve when arriving at this location, but like I say, unfortunately, there's no Milky Way at all. But at least Orion was standing tall and proud in the sky, so nonetheless I am delighted with how it turned out. And here is just the moon. Gotta love an old moon shot. I purposely framed it like this just to emphasize just how wonderful negative space is, and particularly when you're photographing up into the dark sky like this, the moon just acts as this beautiful, beautiful focal point to the frame as it pops off the darkness that it is surrounded by. So, very simple, very clean images, but nothing too crazy to write home about, unfortunately. So folks, it is the next day, and none of that worked or came to fruition. Unfortunately, the clouds, they like rolled in heavy, and SD card writing speed slow. What the hell does that mean? So unfortunately no astro at that particular spot. It's a gorgeous spot, but anyways, as a consolation, this video has now become a if things don't work out, it's okay kind of thing, because there's other things you can photograph kind of video. And we are in the absolutely gorgeous town of Évora, which is just west of Lisbon. And what I'm about to photograph this evening, we can hope we can get some nice, it's more of a sunset kind of shot. You kind of want the clouds, and we can see, hopefully the clouds will stay there. But what the photographic subject today is one that is fascinating, and I can't wait to show you. So this is our nice consolation prize to our failed astro shots. But look where I'm walking now. Hold on, let me turn you around here. At this guy over here. Can you see over here? Can you see that? It's this gnarly aqueduct. Évora is an absolutely gorgeous place, and I would highly recommend coming to visit if you ever get the chance. But let's have a wander through the winding streets, and let's get to our photo destination for this evening. So folks, we are here. I'm going to turn you around, and I really, really hope it blows your mind just as much as it's blowing mine right now. Wait, just let me turn you around. I will let this gorgeous, gorgeous thing do all the talking for itself. Have a look at this. Look at this. This is the Templo di Diana, built in the early 1st century, and it is a gorgeous Roman ruin. Now, it's just absolutely mind-blowingly amazing. I absolutely love this. Orla and I had the absolute pleasure of visiting here many years ago, and I am thrilled to be back. And like I mentioned earlier, this is like a wonderful consolation prize to the, you know, sticking with the kind of ancient stuff. A wonderful consolation prize to not getting the photographs that we were after, but it's just like, it's massive. This thing is just not doing it any kind of justice at all. Let me walk under it for you. Maybe, like, these things are reaching up into the sky, and it's just so wonderful. It's like really, really beautiful. Now, I did take a picture of this the time we did visit, and it was meh, you know, it wasn't the greatest thing under the sun. So I have lots of time now before the sun sets, and I really, really hope we can get a bit of light in the sky, and we can create something meaningful. Last time we were here, it was actually super duper busy too. There's nobody around here today, which is absolutely wonderful. So we are going to have a wander around, and we're going to explore this gorgeous, gorgeous place. Even this little square here that we're at is just so magical. Look at this. Actually, let me see if I can get these people walking next to it, kind of give you an idea of the size. It's just so, so gorgeous. My intention is to hopefully try to take advantage of the cloud that's up there, and if it does catch a bit of colour, then yay. If not, I'd like to also try and take some long exposures to, you know, streak the clouds, which I think could also look very, very nice. And anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to set up and see about taking a few photographs. So let's go. Now I have taken what I really feel like is a very, very nice picture of this beautiful, beautiful Roman ruin. Let me turn you around here and I'll give you a look. I am just playing around with some just some long exposures to see if I can add a bit of movement into the clouds up there. I really hope the clouds stick around. We'll see, we'll see. But if they do, yeah, we should be okay. But for now, I'm shooting at around 30 seconds. I got my 10 stop on, and if this picture turns out to be any good, I'm gonna pop it up on the screen for you right now. So these three images that we are going to look at now are the result of me wandering around and trying my best to take some long exposures. As you'll see, there's not a great deal of movement in the sky between any of them. I think 30 seconds or so was just a bit too short, although the clouds were moving quite fast. But still, I am absolutely delighted with how these images turned out. Wonderful contrast and light that was falling on this absolutely stunning Roman ruin. And this last frame in particular I really, really love, purely just because of the framing and the posts in the foreground, and then of course this gorgeous, gorgeous building behind. Really, really love how these turned out, and super delighted to be back photographing this beautiful, beautiful place. So folks, this is tremendous. It's exceptional, and it's I love this kind of stuff. Look at it. I mean, look at it. I absolutely love this kind of stuff, and I've never been to Rome, and Orla keeps saying, oh, can't go to Rome, so we really do need to go to Rome. But right now I'm taking some really long exposures, maybe about 1.5 minute, 2 minute exposures. I've got my 10 stop on and I've got my 3 stop on, so I really want to emphasize the movement in that cloud. So if any of these pictures turn out to be any good, which they look good on the back of the camera, so I really hope they look good. So if they turn out to be any good, I'm gonna pop them up on the screen for you right now. So when in doubt, long exposures. I popped on my filters as I mentioned and was capturing images probably at around
1.5 to 2 minutes or so. And for me, I really, really love the results. The movement in the cloud really helped add this extra layer of wonderful mysticism to the overall frames, and I really, really love that about these images. And of course then the light that was cascading through the trees and hitting this gorgeous building really adds such wonderful contrast to the overall frames. It's always fun to play around with exposure times, and it just adds something different to the overall kind of portfolio of images that you were out looking to take. And this is exactly what I aimed to achieve, and really, really happy with the results here. I really love these ones.
So folks, we have reached that critical time now when, one, the battery on this little camera is probably going to go pretty soon, the battery on the microphone is probably going to go pretty soon, and we are just catching the tiniest bit of light in the sky. We've got maybe about another 15 minutes before the sun sets, so I'm going to keep this very, very brief. I am just kind of wandering around the incredible sight that this is. It's just so gorgeous. My mind is just totally blown, and I am trying my best to photograph this to do it some kind of justice. So if the light continues to go the way that it is, we may get a nice bit of color in the sky, and if any of these pictures turn out to be any good, I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now.
So as the sun set, it did cast a bit of colour into the sky, which I was delighted with. This particular image that we're looking at right now is probably a bit HDR-y, but that's okay. I don't necessarily mind it so much because I wanted to include all of the dynamic range in the frame. And overall, I am super happy with how it looks. It's very painterly and very kind of artistic interpretation of a scene, which I really, really like. My only kind of regret is that I didn't take more long exposures with the clouds moving as the sun was setting. But as you can see behind the ruin itself, the cloud is actually quite thick, so it would have just turned into a bit of a blobby kind of mess, so I opted to kind of keep things nice and fast. But really, really happy with how this particular image turned out. This particular image here now is just a simple frame, but the light, oh wow, I couldn't believe it when it was shining through, and it just this beautiful pink glow as it cast onto the columns of this gorgeous ruin. Unfortunately, it only cast its light at the top of the columns. It would have been amazing if the whole thing turned pink in the sunset, but sure, such is the way of things. But nonetheless, I am super delighted with this frame. It's very simple, very easy, just to emphasize a bit of the detail that's carved onto these columns, and of course then just to capture that absolutely gorgeous light as it fell on these columns. Absolutely smashing.
Okay, so this is really wonderful. I am going to wait because I think they do turn the lights on here for this wonderful Roman ruin, and I'm going to wait and see if I can stick around long enough to try and capture a bit of a blue hour shot, you know, with the ambient light and the artificial light here on the towers. Just look though, hold on, look at this. Oh folks, absolutely wonderful. And you know, as far as kind of like consolation prizes go, you know, that's the beautiful thing. And that, I suppose ultimately the point that I would like to try and get across here in this video is that sure, they may not work out on the first time, but don't give up, because there is still plenty out there to photograph. And obviously having a camper van and being somewhere like this helps, but you know, you can always wander out your back door and take some photographs, so don't give up just yet. I'm more telling myself that, I think, than anybody else. I was quite disheartened, I must say, when the Astro didn't work out, but this has really exceeded my expectations. I am absolutely thrilled. So yeah, so if any of these blue hour images turn out to be any good, I'm going to pop them up on the screen for you right now.
Now at this stage of the game, you all know I love a good blue hour shot, and I am super delighted with how this particular one turned out. And as you would have seen from the last few sets of images, I came back to this same composition. For me, I think it's probably one of the stronger compositions at this particular site, just because it gives you such a grander feel to the Roman ruin. And of course then you get the beautiful lights as they turned on, and they just illuminate these columns so wonderfully. And then with the backdrop of that beautiful blue sky, it really helps kind of punch the contrast and really makes the whole thing pop off the the screen. So I'm super duper happy with how this particular image turned out. But for me, I have to agree with Senior Spielbergo back there. This is probably one of my favorite images from the entire shoot. The silhouette of the columns against that dark sky, and of course the moon up in the sky as well, really add such a wonderful kind of final stamp to the overall frames, and I'm super duper delighted with how this particular one turned out. I do love a good kind of silhouette shot like this. It's a good example of why a blue hour shot, particularly a late blue hour shot, works well, because it makes the whole scene pop a lot more, and I really love it for that. So overall, absolutely delighted with how all of these images turned out, and a site that I could recommend all the time anybody visit if they ever find themselves in this location. So do please try and get there, because it's a wonderful place.
So folks, what an absolutely amazing end to such a wonderful day. You know, I probably could have made an entire video, you know, all about photographing just this one thing, but you know, I feel it's important, I guess, to kind of document the life that is me on the road, like travel photography kind of thing. Sometimes they just don't work out, you know, so you move on and you capture things like this, and it's just so wonderful. I am absolutely thrilled with how this all turned out. And really just it's just so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. Speechless is the word. So now we came from lovely countryside to this marvelous place, and I really hope you enjoyed the adventure with me. The battery on this is going to die super duper quick, so I am going to, you know what, I might actually, if I take some kind of like evening street photos, perhaps I can take them, but I probably won't because I'm hungry and I need to get back to the car. So yeah, really, if you like the video, folks, do please hit that like button, and of course, if you fancy following along for more of these adventures, you are indeed most welcome to hit that subscribe button. But for now, I will see you all on the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers.